Hi guys, this is Lada from astrolada.com, and today we're not going to be talking about astrology for once. I was just walking by, literally on the pavement here in this little American seaside town, and this beautiful garden was right by the sidewalk. And I've never seen something so beautiful, so I walked in and it turns out it's a permaculture communal garden. And this is a subject that is so dear to my heart, permaculture, organic gardening, even though I've never even grown a single flower. But the notion of those, of this is something very dear to me, to my heart, so I wanted to show you and to explain to you what a permaculture is. And it's always been a dream of mine to have a garden like that. And it turns out that in the last 2-3 years, such gardens started popping up everywhere around Europe, around the States, around the more developed country usually, and you can access them, everyone can access them. They're full of edible fruits and vegetables, full of edible grasses and herbs, and I'm gonna walk you through slowly through that permaculture garden that is communal. And basically anyone can have access to it, and imagine what the world would be like if those gardens were everywhere. And imagine if people, instead of having huge just green lawns where people are playing football or something, if we had those big gardens with edible fruits and vegetables where people could learn to love nature. But why is permaculture so special, and why am I talking to you about it? Let's go a little bit further back. Permaculture is special because it requires minimal efforts and gives you the best results. Basically, it's the least human input and the least human work that is required in a garden, and it's organic. There is no spraying, there is no waste material, and the output is maximum. And there is a huge variety of fruits and vegetables that grow here. And it's self-sustaining. That's another very important thing. Let me walk you a little bit here. And it's self-sustaining because it follows nature. It's not done, here are only tomatoes, here are only potatoes. It's actually mingled. All the fruits and vegetables are interspersed with each other, and this way there is no blight or some kind of diseases on the plants. They don't spread across because the plants regulate each other. And actually, I remember my grandmother even using permaculture. They didn't call it like that back in Bulgaria, but she would know that if she's planting tomatoes, she has to plant certain flowers around the tomatoes, and she would never put too many at one go, because she would say if one of the tomatoes get diseased, the other one will also, should disperse them around the whole garden with those flowers that would protect the tomatoes. And permaculture is based exactly on those principles, combining plants that work together, that protect each other from diseases, that actually even the leaves, when they fall, they use each other as a compost. You don't have to compost, you don't have to weed in permaculture. You just have to basically once sow those plants and they're permanent. That's the trick of permaculture. Keep on coming. And I remember that also my grandparents, they never sprayed anything. They always had everything mixed, and they always were fruits. So basically it has to be all the layers of a forest. This is what permaculture is based on, because in the forest no one is weeding, no one is spraying, no one is, it's self-sustaining system, and because it all works in harmony. And this is permaculture. There should be the layers of trees, that the fruit trees, the lower levels of shrubs and bushes, the lower levels of herbs and lettuces, and growing on the floor and on the ground, and the root vegetables as well. And that's how they work together in combination. And you can just walk around and pick a fruit and pick a vegetable and make amazing organic salads with minimal input, and you're having amazing flowers as well. Look at that, how beautiful. It's just like a little paradise in the middle of the highway, basically. And this system, it has been invented 30 years ago by an Australian guy who watched how, if there is monocultures being, my microphone, monocultures being sown together, like just what happened in Ireland, I think 100 years ago, when there was just one type of potato that the whole of Ireland was living on, and there was like huge acres and hectares of that potato, and there was a blight that killed all the potatoes because there were just one strain of potatoes, and 1 million people died in that hunger, in that blight 100 years ago, and 1 million had to immigrate. And the cleverness of permaculture is it does not do that. And even when I was reading on permaculture, it said that in the Andes, where they invented potatoes in South America, for thousands of years, they've never put potatoes from the same strand. They would always develop hundreds of different potatoes and strains and sow them together. If one dies, nothing else will be lost. So this is what permaculture is based on. Look how beautiful it's here. And yeah, so I wanted to bring some awareness about that. And actually, my research says that you don't even have to have a degree. It's super easy. You don't have to be a designer. You just have to follow a few simple principles of permaculture and combinations of plants and flowers. And it becomes like this beautiful mystery garden rather than just straight lawn of grass like most of our gardens are. And not only that, but you eat organically, you work with nature rather than against nature. Permaculture is about plants helping each other rather than plants competing for resources. Nothing is wasted, absolutely nothing from here. Everything goes for compost, and everything is utilized by humans after that. And I wanted to bring that awareness. So if you have local such gardens, support them in some way, bring awareness. So if you can have it even in your own garden, I'll be doing that very soon, and probably I'll be walking you through how I'm developing my permaculture garden. And you'll have probably 50% of a food supplied, organic, absolutely no pesticides, grown with love. You know, so what better? These are the pleasures, the real pleasures of life, and this is what will, I think, would release humanity from the system and from dependency on the system. So thank you very much, and we'll make soon another interesting videos like those.